Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining this episode of Not Your Average Netizens. This is Ash, back from New York and not so refreshed, but it's okay. I'll get through the episode. I'm joined by your two hosts from last week, Tim and Kiara,
Heyo.
Hey everyone.
who did a wonderful job, by the way. Two-person podcast, and they killed it. Just want to say.
We tried.
um,
Flattery will get you everywhere.
exactly. No, I mean, I'm not paying you guys, so I have to pay you with something. So might as well be flattery. Um, this week, not a overarching theme for this episode, but we have two significant groups that have come back into the idol fray. That is 2PM and T-ara. And they both came back with new songs, new MVs, possibly kind of new directions for them musically. So, good time, I think, to kind of talk about them as artists and talk about their new material and where they're going right now. Um, Another thing that we definitely needs to be mentioned since the last episode. Was recorded, of course, on September 5th, which happened to be the day before, um, sadly, Rise of Ladies Code passed away. So we were not able to address it on that broadcast because the news had not come out yet. But since then, of course, Rise has had her leaving ceremony. Her body's been laid to rest in Japan, and there's been same groundswell of support from fans, um, and just that same feeling of just support for Ladies Code. KBS is actually going to air the final performance Ladies Code did as a group um, at a KBS open concert that apparently I think is a fan cam. I don't think it was an actual like a televised thing, but they're going to air it anyway. Apparently at the request of the family and some friends, and it'll just be a nice way to remember the both of them. And um, a lot of artists have, I'm sure you've read of, uh, uh, written their support on Twitter. Super Junior, being one of the noted ones, as well as there have been some um, kind of memoriams. I remember mentioning on our episode about Unbe if they would do any kind of memorial episode or anything, which they didn't do episodes, but they actually I was wondering how they would handle it on the music shows. And I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this was Mnet or Music Bank where um, this was after Rise died and after Sistar won the award, they kind of did a kind of, short, rest in peace on me and Rise. Everyone bowed. It was very nice, sweet, classy gesture. And they played I'm Fine, Thank You.
Oh, that was
Um,
our Inkigayo.
which episode was that?
Inkigayo.
Inkigayo? Okay, Inkigayo. Okay. Um, and also one of the episodes, I believe they did kind of a short video tribute to Unbi as well. So,
Yeah.
um, there's been tons of support for them. It's still, for a lot of people are still in shock or still grieving. Um, I personally got the news that Rise passed away while I was out of town, and um, that was just horrible. Although I think the sad thing is that it was one of those situations where she was I think they had said she had a lot of the same injuries NB had, so it wasn't looking good for her. But people were, rooting for her to pull through. Um, and unfortunately, she didn't. But I think now, everyone is just giving Ladies Code, the remaining members of Ladies Code, their space. Um, and everyone's been acting with dignity and respect as far as I've seen. Fortunately, there hasn't been anything on the internet that's you know come out anything rude or disrespectful as a result. Um, all I have to say is that I hope that Sojung, Zuni, and Ashley all able to get the rest and recuperation they need and support from family and friends, because it really is a tragic situation. And kind of on the heels of that, um, we also found out that apparently um, Seungri was in a car accident on the 12th. Situation is quite a bit different. The car flipped over. Apparently, he is okay. It seems like the prevailing um, comments from netizens and information is, or the people seem to think, was that this might be a drunk driving situation, even though YG and the police have come out and said that um, he was not drinking while driving. It may have been a speeding issue. Um, but that was just kind of a scary thing for me to see before I actually read the article that the car was flipped over. So I don't know. I guess he was speeding or what. But I thought it was kind of interesting that people were, the first kind of sentiment people had in their minds was he drinking? Was he doing? I let's find out if he's okay first, and then worry about that later. But some people have kind of mentioned, they how this kind of was scary for them after, especially after Ladies Code, um, and of course a lot of people can kind of tie this back to um, traffic safety in Korea and everything. But um, Seungri, it seems like, is okay. Um, some people still think, it might have been a drunk driving issue. For me, I'm just like, as long as he's okay. Um, Hopefully he was not drunk driving, or else he was doing something completely stupid and nonsensical. But and he's lucky to be alive. But um, at least that was a situation that didn't turn out horribly.
I just want to chime in because I really think that it's in really poor taste. And I saw, like, it's not just netizens that are saying it, but there's other people that are saying, like, oh, he must have been drunk driving. Like,
Yeah,
that's a really big claim to throw on somebody.
that was
That's
surprising for me to see that, like, kind of come out, like kind of is kind of like the main kind of sentiment first
right.
for his. And I was like, really? I was like, you think he would be concerned, about him, the car flipping over. That's a major thing. It's like, was he drinking? It's like, uh,
Like
I no.
he could have been speeding. In the picture that they show, there's a guardrail, or it's um, like a concrete barrier. And those things, if you hit them, are pretty easy to flip your car on if you're going a good speed, especially if you have another car to give you the momentum to hit it.
Yeah,
So I understand. Like, to me, it seems like reckless driving. They haven't even said who's at fault yet, and people are already trying to say it's drunk driving, even though the police said before YG said that it was not drunk driving. So you like it's one of those situations where we have decided that this guy is guilty before he's proven innocent, and then even when there's evidence that he's innocent, there's still people out there who are like, "Oh, no, I think they're covering up for him." Like, can you guys give it a minute? We didn't even know if he was okay, and people were already
Yeah,
like,
and I
"Oh, he
think a
was drunk."
lot of it too is just a lot of people that because whenever stuff comes out about people that are in YG, there's like a select group of people. They're like, oh well, YG's gonna cover this up or something like that. Just like with the whole G Dragon whatever thing. I mean, it just I think people have this there are some people that have this like conspiracy theory kind of mindset about YG because
Which is funny because they should have it about every single big label that has money to protect their
yeah, pretty
stars.
much. I
We
mean, I
still
mean
don't know what Jay did. Like, we still don't know.
exactly. I mean, it's not like we know what every single artist is doing. Some people, you know, it's not. I'll just say there's a reason. I think there's a reason some people's scandals come out and some people's don't. I mean, it's the same thing like in the West. It's not all just by chance. So, that's just my opinion. Um, but yeah, I was kind of alarmed by that too. But um, I will say since it is YG, it probably won't affect Sungri too much. Like I said, I'm glad he's okay. The last thing we need is more car accidents right now, and hopefully, whatever happens, he'll be more careful the next time around, or whoever else is more careful. One thing I also wanted to mention on a lighter note before I go into any news that you guys want to talk about. Just because I think it's funny is that apparently there's been rumors that Jessica um, has from Noshide, Girls' Generation, is dating some rich businessman named Tyler Kwan, and
I
there
thought Teflon
was
was a model. Is he a businessman?
He's a businessman.
Oh, okay.
Um, and they were wearing people spotted them wearing these rings, and somehow people jumped to the conclusion that they were wedding rings, and apparently he responded to someone and was uh, I don't know, I guess on some social media thing, and he said. Um, Can someone please explain to me what part of best man wasn't clear? Also, how did my friends' rings become my rings? Um, I just think it's hilarious because people jumped on this and um, were already like, Jessica's fans are going to kill you because you're marrying her. And I kind of was like, I hope that she gets. I kind of have this kind of hope that she does like, just gets one of the her or anybody else in Ghost Generation just goes off and gets eloped, and just to see the 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 utter chaos that would come out from that because
You're so evil, Ash.
I mean, honestly, it's just because I was like, seriously, come on. I mean, first of all, I thought she was dating Taekyon or whatever, but I guess, I don't know, she wasn't ever officially dating him, but she was seen with him, so I guess she was with him at some point.
There's way more
Um,
damning evidence that she was dating that Tyler Kwan dude. It's like the
Yeah.
first time that's been brought up.
It's been
yeah,
many times that there were rumors about those two, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna be surprised if there's some truth. I don't know if they're getting married, but I'm sure there's something going on between those two besides friendship. So I
I
just
don't know. It's, it's
I
just, it's hilarious because it's just, you know, um,
He's a
the
good-looking rich guy. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean, no, I mean, I would not fault her at all if she was dating him or thinking about marrying him or engaged or whatever. But I just kind of want at least one of them to just get married, um, just to start crap. You
Well,
know what? Tay Taeyeon, just go ahead, marry the guy from EXO, and just start a world war. I'm ready. Um,
I still think a lot of people are just mad that they found out Taeyeon's not a lesbian. That's all it is.
that's another weird thing. I don't know. Because that's the weird thing, because for me you tend to always see that a lot with guy groups. The fans get really disappointed that the guys aren't dating each other. Like, I don't I don't know, like, just because in their head the guys are all, doing fan service and stuff, well, they have to be dating. Like, Yun from
DJ,
TVXQ, Yuno and
and Jaejong.
And Jaejung. Yeah, there's like a whole, like, army of people there, like,
That
they were
is
fated to be together, and I'm just like,
that is and forever will be like the most popular like male uh OTP in any fandom ever. Like the fact that people still strongly hold on to that is crazy. I remember when JYJ came to New York, they had like a secret show thing, and
Mhm,
me and my best friend, we went to it, and it was like in this small. It was like some bar type place. I can't remember where exactly,
mhm,
but it was really small and intimate. And like in JYJ were singing their English songs in acoustic because there was a band there,
mhm.
and it was just like silent, like we're waiting for them like, to get ready to sing their next song or whatever, and like everyone's quiet, like people are just slightly murmuring to each other or whatever, and then suddenly out of nowhere some girl just screams Yoonjae, meaning their couple name, and Jaejung, and
Ugh.
we're just all like, oh my god. And
It's
like
crazy.
JJ just kind of like laughed at it or whatever. It's still
Yeah,
like so awkward.
yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah,
ah,
I guess they
wow.
have to at this point. And I've read, I don't know, remember where I read, but there was some fan account where they were, I guess when they were still TVXQ, or maybe they were still all together and they were in China, and people had done fan art and fan fiction and would give this stuff to them, and, like, they wanted to, I don't know, read fan fiction about themselves, or, it's just it's
I
just crazy. But I see some of the same stuff with Girls' Generation, which is interesting because you don't see that really with girl groups. I feel like you don't, but I feel like I've seen some of that. Like, I've seen, what is it called? Some people say Taysika, Taeyeon, and Jessica. Some people have a thing for them being together, and I don't, you know, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. It's like it's interesting sociological, maybe psycho. I don't know. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. Maybe a psychological thing.
I
Um,
think part of it too is that Girls' Generation and especially Taeyeon in general, there was a lot of fan service, like more so than most girl groups. Um, and Taeyeon was always like seemingly excited about anything that could be physical contact. So people just picked up on that, and I think it stems from the whole like a lot of not I wouldn't say just like Korean fans because it is popular there, obviously, but the Western fans also hold on to the ship so fiercely. Like, if you are in a ship, you will know if you come to America. They are so fierce about it. And I think that part of that stems from the fact that that is in our culture that kind of affection is very much so, and in Western culture in general, is strange, especially amongst male groups, because this is where you really see like it most of the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
You don't see guys like hug on each other like you do in Korea, but it's because that's not considered like, I mean, for lack of a better word, that's not gay to them. That's not like
right. That's not
a,
considered
a
heteronormative,
homosexual, yeah,
behavior.
right. It's
Um,
it's cool for them. It's not a big deal. Like they play suck and blow. is what they call it in the States, which is like a drinking game. In Korea, I don't know what the actual name is, but when they pass paper, like they're kissing, and they pass
Yeah,
paper.
yeah,
In America, that is a drinking game in which a guy and a girl stand next to each other. It's not really guys doing it. You don't see a bunch of guys at a party playing suck and blow, but you'll see like a party in college where there's like a guy and then a girl and then like a guy and a girl, and then maybe you get unlucky and it's like a guy and a guy, and you see them like cringe when they go to do it. It's just not accepted in our culture. But in Korea, it's not really that weird. Like it's a game that they'll play and whatever. They like some of them have reservations about it, but for the most part, it's like, oh, it's whatever. And it's because that kind of thing isn't looked at as strange as it's looked at here.
yeah,
Like it's just not. And people have a hard time picking up on that. It's like, oh, they're so lovey-dovey on each other. They must be together. They must be
yeah,
a ship. Like this must be real. But it's not necessarily that way. It's just that to them it's not that weird. Like being affectionate and caring and loving isn't that weird for them. And it's such a hard
yeah.
concept, I feel like, for people to grasp when they don't
Which,
grow up in that kind of culture.
yeah, and which I think is interesting since I think in a lot of ways people would see Korea as being behind as far as LGBT, LGBT. I'm sorry, forgive me for those that don't get the whole thing right. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, that whole thing. Rights.
They are behind though.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting in that sense that you would definitely compare to say the United States would say they were behind in that sense, but you know they've kind of in as far as in their culture, they've got a culture where male affection is not considered you know abnormal or weird or it's just an interesting little thing and to kind of pick up, especially when you bring in fans of different cultures. But I agree with you, Tim, and that people that see especially people from other cultures that see that it's kind of it kind of hits them in a different way. Um, with Girls' Generation, not me so much, just because girls tend to be more touchy feely, so I don't really I've never looked at them and gotten a sense of that was a little weird. But I don't know. I think a lot of it is just kind of just fantasizing, I guess. On that note, Tae is coming out soon. Girls' Generation's subgroup. And have you guys heard their pre-release song,
No.
Whisper?
Nope, not interested.
It's not bad. I have to say I like Tae stuff a lot better than what Girls' Generation generally puts out. Um, so, um, and they look good in the previews and everything. I don't know why this can't extend to Girls' Generation as a whole, but yeah, they'll be coming back soon and dominating. So I guess Sistar will, you know,
They finished
drop out.
already.
I was
Huh?
gonna say it's not like they
Oh,
haven't won enough.
Their last week was their last week of performing. Like they
oh,
haven't.
okay. I know Super Junior's already been winning already, but I figured they would be done soon because there's no way they would be overlapping with those girls. Okay. Well, with that said, do you guys have anything in particular you would like to bring up for current events?
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? What are we doing?
You can go first, Tim.
Okay. I wanted to bring up the Hyunjung thing. Mostly not just because I mean obviously it's relevant there, but because we had another scandal in the West with a famous person in a wife beating
Yeah.
scandal, and there was a newscaster who had a really moving, at least to me, thing to say about that whole scandal. But I'll touch the Hyunjung thing first. Hyunjung's victim, I guess you would call it, finally, her reps have finally spoken out, and they've made it clear that he did something and he's not he hasn't properly apologized for it. Um, and it also clears up the rumor that, or it clears up the fact that he said he only hit her one time. Their
Mm.
reps are saying that she was hit multiple times. There were multiple accounts of assault, and that he hasn't apologized. Um, so the one thing that I do want to bring up is that this is still a civil case, um, as most the cases of domestic abuse are, and they shouldn't be. As it is a civil case, though, that means that he's not looking at jail time currently, and probably won't be, unless it becomes aggravated assault, I think is what it has to come to. I
Hmm.
can't remember exactly, but he's probably looking at community service and a fine similar to the last fine we saw for domestic abuse, which I think is ridiculous. I don't think there's any world in which that's okay. Um, I think that people who are found guilty of domestic abuse should be held to the same candle that people who are found of like aggravated assault are. And I think it's wrong that they're not. Um, but on in the West, we had a football player who was caught um, assaulting his fiance at the time and then wife. She dropped the charges that were pressed against him, and it looked like he was going to get away with it. The NFL was pretty lax on him. He's a professional football player. And then TMZ leaked a video of him clearly punching her, and he was cut and suspended indefinitely, lost his job, all that. Um,
Yeah. Ray Rice.
Ray Rice, right?
Hmm.
Which is exactly how it should happen. She tried to defend him, and I think that's also a whole nother world. But there's a newscaster who's very well known for being very well spoken. His name is James Brown, um, and he's fantastic as far as I'm concerned. At the Thursday night game, instead of having the fun entrance, he they instead cut to him, and he spoke on domestic abuse. And I just want to read this because I think that it's really powerful, and I think it's really, really important that people know that this happened. Because I know a lot of people don't watch football; they're not going to care, but especially in like the community that watches K-pop. But this is a really good, really, really good thing. Um, 2 years ago, I challenged the NFL community and all men to seriously confront the problem of domestic violence, especially coming on the heels of the murder-suicide of Kansas City Chiefs footballer Jovan Belcher and his girlfriend Cassandra Perkins, which was an awful tragedy. Uh, Yet here we are again dealing with the same issue of violence against women. Now let's be clear: this problem is bigger than football. There has been appropriately so intense and widespread outrage following the release of the video showing what happened inside the elevator at the casino. But wouldn't it be productive if this collective outrage, as my colleagues have said, could be channeled to truly hear and address the long-suffering cries of help by so many women? And as they said, do something about it. Like an ongoing education of men about what healthy, respectful manhood is all about. And it starts with how we view women. Our language is important. For instance, when a guy says you throw the ball like a girl or you're a little sissy, it reflects an attitude that devalues women, and attitudes will eventually manifest in some fashion. Women have been at the forefront of domestic violence awareness and prevention arena, and whether Janae Rice considers herself a victim or not, millions of women in this country are. Consider this. According to domestic violence experts, more than 3 women per day lose their lives at the hands of their partners. That means that since the night of February 15th in Atlantic City, more than 600 women have died. So this is yet another call to men to stand up and take responsibility for their thoughts, their words, their deeds. As Deion Sanders says, to give help or to get help, because our silence is deadly and deafening. Um, I mean, the biggest thing that I have with this, the biggest thing that I have with all of these issues is it stems. I mean, obviously, it needs to be addressed as it's happening, but it stems from the way men are raised and the culture that they're raised in, and it is dependent on our generation because it's an issue that you have to take in generations. It's the same with the issue of homosexuality being accepted. All of these things are things that we have to instill within the generation that we raise. It's not about changing it within your generation. It's about changing it as we move forward. We can't keep the same attitude that we currently have to things like this. We can't just say, "Oh, he's just an asshole," and move on, or all guys are like this, or this is how all girls are, and the transverse guys can't say that. We can't let men feel that we are entitled to something from women. We cannot let women feel that they're entitled to something from men. We cannot continue to instill this culture on people where being not wanting to do something manly is considered like sissy or girly or something like that. We can't do that because it makes people not want to be that. It makes people disrespect that side of things. It's fine to have feelings. It's fine to be sensitive. It's fine to be compassionate. It doesn't make you a weak human being. It's also fine for girls to do all those things. It's fine for them to want to play sports, and it's fine for them to want to do all these things that we have deemed manly. These terms are just terms, and they have too much power, and that's wrong. It should be fine to be all of these things, and it shouldn't take away from who you are as a person and whatever gender you are or are identify as. And it
Mm-hmm.
is it is important that we instill that in our children. If you don't plan to have kids, you never have kids, it's important for everybody else to instill that within their kids and within the people around them, because that's the only way that we're going to change. You can't change a 50-year-old whose mind is already set. I can't change that, but I can change his 3-year-old grandson to be a better person moving forward.
Yeah, and I think in general, it's important for people to keep their minds open. I think a lot of Americans, um, in general, would probably consider maybe our views on gender and sexuality more advanced than, say, a lot of countries in Asia or Korea. But I mean, when you come down to it, I mean, the level of discussion that particularly this incident with Ray Rice has inspired on countless TV shows and countless news shows and just articles, you name it. I mean, it just shows that like you said, we still have a huge discussion that needs to be had. About the nature of gender and respect and and people understanding what domestic violence is and that it's not acceptable. Um, Unfortunately, from the Korean point of view, we can't speak much on that. We can only kind of compare it as far as our viewpoint as Americans or Westerners. But I'm sure. I mean, some of those things also apply in Korea too. I mean, there are women there that fight for um, abused women just as they do here. And either way, it's still a crime. It's still a horrible thing to do to someone. Um, but with when you look at the cultures and you look at especially when you're talking about the kind of punishment that Kim Hyun Jung will likely be getting, um, you do see that difference. Um, but is there anything else you wanted to say about that, Tim?
No, I mean, I was just really like, I got to talk about this at work as well, so it's been like
Hmm.
a thing that's been at the forefront for me. Obviously, they don't care about what's going on in Korea per se,
Right.
um, but we did get to talk about the Ray Rice issue and domestic violence and the fact that it's a big issue, not just here but everywhere. Like, I don't want people to think that. I think people, I should say, have a weird idea that it's just here that it's so bad, but it's
Hmm.
not just here.
Oh no, no. I mean, but
I
I
mean,
think that's why I said with Americans, I think with Americans, they kind of, or Westerners in general, kind of get this idea that's like, oh, well, we're so much more advanced, or, we're so much more, forward thinking than other countries. And we have, moved forward a lot in our thinking and in society, but that doesn't mean that we still don't have problems, and that we don't have problems that are akin to other countries that may have stricter cultures or more traditional cultures. Um, there's still a lot of that ingrained in this society, as as modern as it is. There's still a lot of that traditionalism, you know, present. So,
right.
so is there anything else that you want to talk about other than the Kim Hyun Jun issue?
Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about um, is the whole issue with the issue people feel with the age gap between two actors. Okay. For reference, there is a new drama coming out called My Lovely Girl, and it's starring Rain and FX Crystal.
Yeah.
Um, Now there is a 12-year age gap between Crystal and Rain. That being said, Crystal is a 20-year-old woman. She's not a child. She is not underage. She is a woman. They are also acting in a drama together as a romantic couple, not dating in real life. And if they were, you can't call him a pedophile. The use that's my issue. That's what I want to bring up. It has nothing to do with this drama, which I'm sure is going to be great because Rain. Um, and I heard Crystal's pretty good, so there you go. But the issue that I have is people are jumping, and not even just netizens, not even really netizens, I should say, but Western fans are jumping to use this term pedophile. Like, anytime there's a gap that's more than like 7 years, especially if one person is young, it's pedophile. That's what we jump
There's
to,
a
pedo bear.
vast difference between actual pedophilia and something of that nature.
Right. It's not that word is incredibly insulting. That's the issue that I have. It is you are damning somebody. That is a bad thing to be. It's not a joke to just be like, "Oh, you're a pedophile." That's not a joke. You don't joke about that. That is an actual thing that people deal with. That is an issue that is in our culture and in other cultures is this is the rise in pedophilia. Even it's at a higher point than it's been before. So you're calling somebody a pedophile when you say that. Even if you're doing it as a joke, haha, you're a pedo bear. That's not a joke. It's rude. And
Yeah.
I feel like people just are like, oh, pedo bear doesn't sound as offensive as pedophile. It means the same thing though.
Yeah, that's something I've seen on the internet. Oh, Kiara, were you
Yeah,
talking?
I know. I'm listening.
Oh, no, I thought you may have said something.
No, no, no. Continue.
Okay, I think we're getting into the feedback here, but that's okay. Um, but from what I understand, the drama that Rain and Crystal are supposed to be in, it's actually the fact that they have a bit of an age gap is actually central to the story, because I believe I may have the specifics a little bit backwards, but I believe in the drama, Rain originally was with Crystal's
Older
older
sister, yeah.
sister or something like that, and then her older sister dies, and then Crystal comes along and she wants to be in the music industry or something like that, and Rain's working in the music industry, and through throughout the story, then they become close. So, but it's not just kind of a look at this older guy and this really young girl kind of thing. Um,
Right.
Also, I mean, it's not like with with Korean dramas, it's not like we're gonna see anything scandalous,
Right.
in any sense.
It's a romantic comedy. Like, we're not going to see anything crazy. Even, and again, even if we did, they're acting. This is acting. It's not like she is portraying, at least as far as I know, it's not like she's portraying like a 12-year-old and he's supposed to be like a 40-year-old.
Mm,
It's not like she's portraying a 17-year-old and he's supposed to be like a 30-year-old. Like, from what I understand, she is just supposed to be the younger sister. So she
yeah.
can't look old, and he is the guy who dated her older sister. So obviously he's gonna be older. But they're not dating in real life. Even if they were, they are acting in a movie. They didn't write it. So
I
you cannot
honestly
call him a
think
pedophile.
I honestly think a lot of the probably a lot of the commentary is coming from the fact that it's Rain and it's Crystal. And,
I'm sure that's it.
with two other people that were just, regular Korean actors, weren't idols, weren't, in the news a whole lot, it probably wouldn't. I mean, not saying they wouldn't get any kind of comments, but I think the fact that it's those two people, feel like they have to speak up on the topic. Um, but as far as I can see, I mean, it did kind of make me raise my eyes a little bit when I did. I was a little surprised when I first found out. I was like Rain and Crystal, and I was like, okay, but um, yeah, it's the people there complaining. I don't think it's um really going to affect anything as far as, especially as far as the drama goes. Like I said, as a Korean drama, um, they're not going to be doing anything salacious, and you know, I think it'll be fine. People will probably be more critical of Crystal's acting once the actual show starts than the you know so-called romance.
Right, and I don't. I still, it's still an issue that I feel like people need to get with, because it's only an issue when it's an. My problem is it's only an issue when it's an older guy dating a younger girl. When it's a younger guy dating an older girl, it's, oh, look at that cougar, or get it, Nuna. Like, it never fails,
Yeah.
and it's incredibly frustrating because it's the exact same. And people love to say that young guys don't know anything, that they're more mature than women, and all this stuff. So then it should be even worse when a younger guy is dating an older woman, by that logic. But that logic doesn't carry over, because it's cool, it's fine, it's not a big deal. And I grew up in the culture even where a younger guy sleeping with like a teacher, for example, was considered, like, all his friends would be like, "That's cool. That's super cool. Good job, bro.
Yeah.
Like, high five." That's the culture that I grew up in. Whereas
Yeah.
a dude hitting on like a younger girl, he was a disgusting pervert. That's it. And
Yeah.
in high school, they're both perverts. They're both disgusting, and that's it. That should be the end of it. Like, there shouldn't be, oh no, he's a pervert, but this chick is cool because she's banging this young guy and she's showing him the ropes and all this
Yeah.
stuff. That's
I mean,
but that's what the culture instills, and
yeah.
it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
being an American citizen, that's definitely something that you see over and over again. You see, you see a lot of news stories about pedophiles and about young girls getting kidnapped, picked up by older men, older perverted men. But you also see quite a few stories about school teachers who have relationships with their 13-year-old male, students.
Right.
And, you know, frequently, a lot of times, the teacher, the women in these situations will get, um, will not get charged nearly as harshly as someone is being charged as being a pedophilia, or you rarely ever see the term pedophilia even directed at a woman in
I've
that
only
kind of
seen people use
situation.
the term like pervert.
Yeah.
Like it's like people are too scared to pull the trigger on that word when it is used against girls, and I don't agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, a lot of that is like sex and gender issues having to do with our with the Western world, and
Right, yeah, obviously.
not just our part of the world, all over the world really, but um, and that's a lot of things that's connected to a lot of actually some of the stuff with Ray Rice and the domestic abuse things, and people trying to make there's kind of a little movement on the internet with people trying to make feminism a more understood term, and just trying to make gender equality more of a aware the more of an awareness about gender equality. And it's going to be something that's always going to be ever evolving, because like I said, there's even our country, there's a, there's a traditionalism, uh, um, there's a history, there's a core there that some people, and I don't know if it's a certain generation or if it's just a certain part of our culture that people do not want to let go of. And at some point, looking at the way things are demographically, at some point people are going to have to change their minds, change their ways, change their ways of thinking, or get out. But um, I like like I said, I feel like it's just it's something that's continuing to evolve, just continuing. Um,
Oh, can I just say something quick about this?
yes, go ahead, T-ara, please.
Uh,
I am rambling like a crazy person.
it's okay, you're tired. But I just wanted to say about this. The thing is also like with K dramas. There's kind of this whole genre of Nuna romances, like romance stories with older women, younger men, and you've seen it, and like it's become kind of popular again recently, like with dramas like I Can Hear Your Voice, or what was the other one? Secret Love Affair with Yoo Anin, which was pretty popular. Older married woman falling for a younger man who plays the piano
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And like it's something that you kind of see that's kind of like in a way accepted, like older women in dramas, older women with these younger men. That you don't
Shiny's whole career is based off of that.
Nuna no Muyepo, yeah. It's kind of like this whole kind of culture of like it's okay for a younger man and older women, but when it's the other way around, it's kind of like, oh my god, no, like I
Yeah,
just can't it just can't be or whatever. And I mean, as long as they're both in the legal age, I think it should be all oh, a okay. And if they both say yes to being in okay into being in this relationship, then it shouldn't be anyone else's
yeah.
problem.
And like
My
I said, with this particular situation, it's they're both as Tim said, they're both acting. One thing I will say about Crystal is something tells me that that girl would not consent to doing something that she did not would not feel comfortable doing. Just the vibe I get from her.
She's a fan
Um,
of Rain. Like she probably is so jazzed to be able to act with Rain. Like
Probably,
the
but you
only
know what?
thing
I kind of feel like Crystal is just like whatever about it. I can
She was
totally
really
see her
excited
just
in her
not,
interview.
giving a crap, just being like, okay,
In
you
her
know.
interview, she was really pumped to work with him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I just see her as just kind of being whatever about, so many things. I guess because that's usually kind of her default um, emotion in a lot of situations. But um, yeah, I mean, like you said, Tim, they're both acting, and Rain has a girlfriend for whatever that's worth. But
And he's gonna probably marry her as he got like baptized and all that stuff. But like the last point I want to make is like she's an adult, he's an adult. They're legal, they're of age. It's not your business. Like I don't understand. It's not your business. So deal with it and don't call it pedophilia and shut up. Like why are you making it a big deal? It's the
exactly,
same Choja and Sully. They're both adults. Shut up. It's not your business. Let them
yeah,
live.
it's
I don't
not
understand.
pedophilia. I mean, it may not be your cup of tea. You may not choose to do that yourself, date someone particularly older, I understand, but, if someone's a legal adult, they have every right to make those decisions and, deal with them however they decide to. So,
Yeah, I think it's just a slippery slope, and I think people don't realize it because they think they're innocent, like that it doesn't affect them. But that's a slippery slope of being like, we get to dictate who you're allowed to date. We get to say the age that's appropriate for you to date between. We get to say what gender you get to date. Like that's all in the same realm. It's not your business. That is the whole running point. It's not your business. Let people live. They are not breaking any laws at all. They are not hurting anybody, so let them live. Let them do what they want to do.
yeah. Like I said, since this is just pretend, quote unquote, um, I have a feeling the focus will soon be a lot more on Crystal's acting than her and Rain together. But um, yeah, I think a lot of it, the attention is coming from the fact that it's Rain and it's Crystal, and hopefully we won't see. Hopefully it'll die down once the actual drama comes out. I think a lot of it is just you know, same pearl clutchers that, came out when Sully was dating Choiza, um, which, she also has every, right to do. Um, is there anything else you would like to talk, rant, speak about, Tim?
No, I'm good. I feel like I'm ready for any topic now. I'm ready for some happy things. Let's go.
Word. All right. T-ara, anything you want to bring up today?
Well, my topic isn't exactly happy. Well, it depends how
Damn it, Kiara.
I have strong feelings about it. I have strong feelings about
Well,
it,
go
but
ahead.
well, I want to talk about because last week's show I talked about how Korea is making a remake of Liar Game, which is a Japanese
Mm,
drama slash manga, and since last night, there's been articles popping up. Well, first off, there was articles saying of possible candidates of who's going to be in it, and
yeah, I saw.
then earlier today, it was like, okay, it's been announced that these people are going to be in the drama. So I
One
guess,
of them, I didn't look at it closely, and I thought it was Yubin from Wonder Girls for like a minute. One of the women, she looks so much like Yubin, and I was like, what? But it's actually an actress, so no, it's
yeah,
not Yubin from Wonder Girls. It's an actual actress that's gonna be in it.
yeah, no, it's not her, but here the actors that were chosen was Lee Sang Yoon. He was in Goddess of Fire Jung Yi. Kim Soon from Horse Healer, or she's mostly known for acting in Boys Over Flowers. She was the second, I guess, second lead girl. She wasn't the main lead girl.
Hmm.
Um, not the horrible actress, no. And Shin Sung-rok, and he's very known for being the bad guy from You from Another Star, which was a huge drama last year. Was it last year or earlier this year? I don't remember. Um,
UNO was in that, right?
Yuna? No, the other one, the other really popular one. Uh,
The other one, oh.
The
he was the one that was in Dream High. Can never
Oh, Kim Soo
Hyun?
Hyun?
Yeah, him. Yeah,
Okay.
he was from you
That's
from.
right. That's
Well,
right.
you having been the only person that has, seen and knows about the Japanese version of this show, I mean, how do you feel about, I don't think they've announced what characters they're playing, but I mean, how do you feel about the
Um,
announced actors as far?
well, they haven't said which character is gonna play. Like Kim Sung is gonna play like the main female character. Um,
Uh,
what I don't know what her Korean name is gonna be, but Japanese is Kanzaki now. Lee Sang Hoon is gonna play. First of all, okay, they say Lee Sang Yoon's character is a former psychology professor at Seoul National University, but he's also an ex-con swindler, so he's gonna play like the main lead guy, which his name in Japanese is Akiyama Shinji. And right there, I was just so upset once I read that because first of all, they're making him like older because in Liar Game in the beginning he was never a teacher, he was just a student, like a psychology student.
hmm.
So from the get go they're already making him a former teacher or whatever, so they're already making him like older things, and
Hmm.
I'm not happy with this. I
You're
don't know.
just thinking, what else are they gonna change at this? They're already making changes. What else
Yeah,
are they gonna do? Hmm.
yeah, like I don't know, like I've never properly seen Lee Sang Yoon act. Like I think I saw him in one drama, but it was so long ago I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
But like I'm just not happy with this. And if you heard my rant in last week's podcast, you know,
Yeah.
if
You're
TVN,
very particular about your J dramas, but I can understand. I mean, whenever remakes and such are involved, everyone who's seen the original is like, it's not the same, and you're totally messing it up. And um, I remember like when Boys Over Flowers, I hadn't heard of the Japanese counterpart, and there were a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's totally better," and a lot of people were coming in just knowing the Korean version because that caught popularity so quickly. Um, but they're also doing um, maybe you can say this for me because I don't think I know how to say it correctly in Spanish. Nodame, Nodame, Canta, Cantabile, Cantabile.
Katable, yeah.
Contable, yes. Okay.
You can say
Yeah. Um, yeah, they're also doing that, a Korean version of that, which is, I don't know if there's a live version, but of
there
I
is.
know there's a manga and an anime of that.
Yeah, there was a drama, and then after that, it had two movies after that. So
Oh,
live
okay. So
action.
maybe,
So
so
and
maybe that's why.
that was also really popular as well. Like the J drama was
Hmm.
very popular. So when the news came out, I never watched it myself, but I knew that it was really popular. So
Hmm.
when the news came out that it was going to be remade in Korea, there was a lot of like backlash. A lot of people were not happy about this. And
Yeah.
but I mean, I think people kind of calmed down after like who it was announced was gonna play the characters, because from what I've seen, people are okay with what actors
Yeah.
that were chosen. But for me, with Liar Game, I'm having issues right now. I am not okay right now. I mean,
Oh,
with
well,
Kim,
maybe it'll get better. Like maybe the changes will be good. Like
uh,
with some American shows, they, it's you maybe think of it as it's a different version of the show as opposed to a remake type of thing. That's I don't know. That's how I approach some shows sometimes, or like for instance, I like to watch The Walking Dead sometimes, and The Walking Dead is based off of a comic, and the writers and producers and such on the show have made it very clear that the show is inspired by the comic, and they take a lot of main storylines from comic, but the show is its own entity. So they kind of follow their own flow as far as the show is concerned. So people that have died in the show haven't died in the comic. They've added people in the show that aren't in the comic, people in the comic that aren't on the show. So they're kind of two separate things and it makes sense because it's like if people have already read the comic and the show is exactly like that, what motivation do they have to watch the show? So
Right.
maybe, I mean, I'm probably being a little too optimistic here, but maybe they'll try and do something like that with Liar Game. Like maybe try and keep the spirit of it, but do something different.
Yeah, this is my issue with um when people remake stuff like this, like when you take something that's already existed, be it a comic book, anything like that, and we saw it in the West a lot, where these comic book movies were successful, but all these comic book nerds were really upset, and they were like, "Oh, you strayed from like this and this and this." And me being a comic book nerd as well, I was that guy. Like I was completely that guy until The Watchmen came out.
Mm,
The Watchmen, literally until the end of the movie, was the comic book. Except they left a few things out that you didn't need, that wouldn't have, worked well, and then they changed the ending. And I was so bored because I had already seen it. I knew everything. I was just like, oh my god, really? It's gonna be
yeah.
exactly the same. And that's when I realized, like, and other people were complaining too that it was boring, that it was slow paced. But if you read the graphic novel or the comics, that's exactly how it was. It was slow paced. It just worked really well as a comic, and it didn't translate as well into a movie, and that's why that IP is dead. I mean, they could have tried to do more with it. They shouldn't have, and I'm glad they didn't. But that's why it didn't do as well as people thought. And that is a case where people should realize, and I feel like that was the eye opening experience, that it's not good to remake the same thing exactly the same. You have to do something new to it to make it more interesting. I don't
Yeah.
want the same story with new people. I have no interest in that anymore because I got it. I got that. I got that with The Watchmen. I don't care. And then by then, when they did change the ending, I was like, this is the only thing you changed and it doesn't work. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And it made sense. It made perfect sense. I went back and watched it again, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. It's more privy to the time period that we're in, right? Whereas the
Yeah.
old ending didn't make sense for our current time period. So I get it. At the same time, I didn't want it because you gave me the exact same thing, and I didn't like it. So I don't think there's. I think like you kind of have to go positive into things, especially when they're remakes of things that you really love. Um, and hope. Well, not even hope, but just take it for what it is. And then
Yeah.
later on, you can dissect if you didn't like it. Don't dissect it as like, it should have been this, and so I don't like it. Dissect it as
Yeah.
like, was this good at all? Because
Yeah.
maybe they have an idea that they want to go with, and they just want to pay homage to the Liar Game. They don't want it to be exactly that. They want it to have that spirit and that general concept, but they want to tell it a different way. Maybe that's the case, and it could be awful. Who knows? But if you go into it expecting it to be like exactly the Japanese drama, you're gonna get disappointed. Like you and I both know that your rant will be totally true because you're already out of it.
And maybe that
Well,
helps you in some way, Kiara. I don't know
well,
if that
the
does.
thing is, okay, I'm not like completely turning it down now and saying like I'm not gonna watch. I'm not saying I'm not gonna watch this. This
Right,
is
right.
horrible. I'm not saying that at all. But it is kind of like I don't know. It's still making me apprehensive that there are already changes. I can understand changes, especially when it comes to like dramas and when you're remaking them, because especially when you're translating into a different language, there has to be some form of difference, anyways. But I don't know because Korea has burned me already so many times when it comes to remakes with with Boys Over Flowers, with You're Beautiful, with what's the other one, Mischievous Kiss, like those three were so popular in Japan, and they had their dramas already, they had their mangas, their anime, and then the Korea they remade them, and then the ending result was just horrible. So, I'm just worried, slightly worried that this may fall in the same category. But I'm still gonna watch it, and I'm still gonna give my. I won't. I'll wait until I give my final opinion about it after I watch it. But
And
just
remember,
I
the
don't know.
most important thing is that if it's like with Boys Over Flowers, if it's popular and the ratings do really well, it doesn't matter if it's horrible. Like in Boys Over Flowers case,
Matters to me. That was just horrible. That was
everyone
horrible.
was talking about it and everyone was watching it. So, I
Well,
think that's
there's an important question then. How many idols are in Liar Game?
Idols
Yeah,
I don't think
in the
there's any
Japanese version.
yet.
Oh, in the
that's a
Korean
good
version.
sign.
There's
Yeah, in the Korean
none.
version.
None. It's all act. So far, there's only three people have been confirmed, and all of them are actors.
That's a good
Yeah.
sign. That is a good sign. You need to take that and use that as your way of hope because you don't have to worry about a bunch of people being like, "Oh my God, Opa, I love it," which is what you got with all those other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I when I first started getting into, well, I think just Korean entertainment in general, Boys Over Flowers was like the first big thing. So I didn't know everybody that was in it. So I didn't realize that Kim Hyung Jun and this person, they were all like idols and had careers outside of acting and I just knew people were like going crazy over it. So I was like, oh, I need to watch it too. And I was like, well, this is okay. I was like, if this was made in the U.S., this would probably be on the CW, but
I
it's
don't think it would have made it even there. It would have been on like it would have been like on Amazon Prime or something.
it, it's on. There's an actual American remake on What Things Get You.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's
On
never
what?
gone farther than that. Vicky,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I don't even know what the heck that is.
it's a.
It exists. There's an American version of Boys Over Flowers, and I've only seen pieces and bits of it. But that's frankly that's all I want to see because it looks horrendous. I have you actually watched it, Kiara?
I haven't, no, but I've like you, I've seen clips and I've seen just looking at the actors alone, I'm like, you can tell this is extremely low budget. And I mean, not everything extremely low budget is bad, but I was just like, nah, I'm
It's
not feeling
just yeah, it
this.
looks horrible. I don't know whose idea it was, and yeah,
Kind
it
of looked like
it's
something you would see on Lifetime or something, one of those
it
Lifetime.
looks like lower than that, like
I bet it
PBS or
looks like
something.
something that they made in Korea called Boys Over Flowers too. I don't know.
Exactly. Except Boys Over
Oh.
Flowers, they spent like $1 million on horrible
Yeah, at least they have
CGI
some.
and
They spent some money on that
See,
one.
America knew. They were like, wait a minute, this isn't gonna work. We're not gonna pull this off. Don't give them any money.
Oh
But anyway,
gosh.
I don't know. I guess I gotta look. I gotta wait until I actually see and see who else gets casted. But I am looking forward to like Kim Soon because I did like her. Like she was the small shining light in Boys Over Flowers. Like everything was horrible except her and Kibum, I think is his name, the guy that she was in love with in the drama. Like they
Oh,
were the
Kimbum.
Kimbum, yeah. They
Yeah.
were the shining lights.
Oh yeah, they
They
were like
were,
the
like, that
secondary
whole
couple, right?
yeah, they were known as a soul couple because of their names. It came together and make soul, the word soul.
Oh.
So they were like the ray of shining lights in that whole darkness that is Boys Over Flowers. Um, but I'm just sad that she got a nose job because she looks so different now. That's why she looks like Yuban because she got a nose job. But
Oh, okay. I saw her. I was like, "Is that you, Ben?"
now Yuban was in the drama, but I don't think
I
it's
remember
something.
that, but it was like a really small part, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really
Like,
small character. Which I was glad because, to be honest, she wasn't getting positive reviews for that. So
well, yeah. I mean, she's not really known as an actress. So. I thought she did pretty good in that Nickelodeon Wonder Girls movie, though.
yeah, that
Yes, I
that
did watch that,
I
and it
watched it
was
too.
not that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It's Nickelodeon. It's a Teen Nick movie. Like, come on now.
They actually like. I'm surprised they actually like it was better than I thought it would be, considering. Um,
I'll just never forget. So he say, what she said, chicken and waffle, chicken and waffle.
Chicken and
oh,
waffles.
the one thing I remember Sohee saying, I don't know why it's always Sohee too. I guess because her lines seem like they came out of nowhere. It was like when the other group what was it, girls,
um,
schoolgirls or whatever,
yeah.
sent them like a message or something, and it was like, we're gonna beat you at the Apollo or something. And then so he was like, why are they so mean? And it just it was just the way she said it, and the timing. It was like it
It was
it
a
was
good.
funny. Just like Sunye's she's like, you are out of control. Um, during that scene where everyone's like mad at Yenny because she's like, I don't know, she's like really determined to beat the other girls or whatever, and
Cause
I don't remember. I just remember Sunye was like, "You are out of control." That was like one of two lines Sunye's had, and I was like, "Wow." And of course, Yenny was like, she had most of the lines because she was like the best English speaker out of all of them. And she
she
had
was
this
in
really
there.
weird like tan and blonde hair. I felt like they were trying to Americanize her a bit. It was weird.
Like,
Um,
yeah, you can see it in the video for the DJ's Mine. Like when you watch the video, like
yeah.
and she had blonde hair at that time. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like they had tanned her up and given her blonde hair like to kind of westernize her a bit. It was kind of weird. And then that guy that she had the love triangle thing with, he
Yeah.
totally rape kissed her at the end. He was like, "In America, this is how we say goodbye," and then he just like plants one on her, and I'm like, "In America, that's what we would call sexual harassment." Um, yeah.
I
I was
remember
like,
that.
I was like, why do the American characters always have to be
So
Was
extra.
like
she
douche?
not interested in kissing him? That's important.
Well, she was like interested in him, but they like barely knew each other. And then like he was like a DJ or something. Okay,
Well,
he
it's only sexual harassment if you don't want it to happen. So you can't call it sexual harassment if
but
she was like,
he
"Oh,
just
that's
like
cool."
totally was. You know, she was like, you
It
know,
caught her.
they're
It caught her
just.
off guard, but she wasn't like, "Oh no," it wasn't like
Yeah,
that.
sometimes you got to be forward.
I
That's not
just feel
sexual
like you don't.
harassment.
It's just simple like courtesy. You just don't do that to people. Like,
They
well,
just
this is how I say goodbye, you know. And somebody was like, and then decided to kiss you. I mean, like even if it was somebody that you thought was attractive, if you that would it would
I
be
think
a
you
little
just
bit.
made a lot of first kisses sexual harassment. I'm saying, I want to be real with you. Like, I can even I can even admit that there have been times where I'm like, I know that this girl is interested in me, and like it was clearly no, it's mutual. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to kiss her. I don't feel like I harassed her, like, and it always worked out positively for me. So I'm like,
Okay,
it's not harassment.
noted, noted, Tim.
You're gonna make
Okay.
people sound. You're gonna make people sound like, uh,
Okay, for the record, I'm not saying it's sexual harassment. I just thought it was kind of weird considering that he's American and, you know, he had to be all forward and stuff. But for the record, it's not sexual harassment.
maybe he thought it would be cute. Like, I don't know.
It's just that line in America, this is how we say goodbye.
Is that how he delivered it? This is really
Yeah, it was
important.
something like that. Yes, it was something like that. So that has something to do with it too. Okay, guys, I'm going to be right back and I'm actually going to edit this out of
Are you sure?
the broadcast. Yeah, I am. I'll be right back.
She's not gonna edit it out. It's still gonna be there.
watching.
We should put a bet on it.
Uh, what do you want to bet?
I bet that T-ara will fail that. No, I don't
uh,
know.
I don't know either.
I don't
But
know
I'm
if I
sure.
take that bet.
But I'm sure they would. At least because I don't know because Super Junior's out, and then 2 p.m. came back as well, and then like Tay whatever is back. So I don't know.
I don't think they were gonna win anyways. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Have you heard the song? I should watch the
I
comeback stage while she's gone. Shit.
I watched the music video. I thought I was gonna go blind for a second, to be honest, while watching that video. It's just too many flashing and too many like.
They took FX's video and just went haywire, dude. I don't know what happened.
Like, I don't know if you ever saw that other music video they had that's older. I think "Going Crazy" or something like that.
Yes, I love
Hey,
that music video.
don't talk about that before we get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We
I'm
weren't
back.
making this all started from us making fun of you. I don't know how it happened.
Thank you for letting me know that. Okay. Kiara, is there anything else that you would like to discuss other than Liar Game?
um. Oh yes, I would love to talk about 2 p.m.'s comeback.
Well, okay, well, let's just get to it then, because that's one of our central topics is 2 p.m. The groups, idol groups 2 p.m. and T-ara have come back recently with two new songs and have already started promoting them on music shows. I have not seen any of the stage performances as of yet. And there's been various responses, reactions to both of them. But since you brought it up, we'll start with 2 p.m. I felt like they were going and they're they were going with a kind of a different concept this time that they haven't before. Like it was they haven't. I mean, I feel like they've done the dance party thing, but going crazy felt like a little different. What do you think, Kiara?
Well, it's definitely different because this is not written by J. Going Crazy wasn't written by JYP. It's by Junkei himself. Like he composed Going Crazy. So
Uh,
this is definitely more personal and kind of more personal for them. At least for Junkei, this is more like it reflects their personalities. Cause like when they're together, when you watch them like in interviewing or together, they're like very noisy when they're together. They're very, as you say, they go crazy when they're together. Like they're very rambunctious. They're just guys that like, hang out and are very loud when they're with each other. So it's this
They're
song
frat
definitely
guys.
pretty much like if you watch their show Real 2 p.m. like that's what they are. Like their last one on you if you watch it on YouTube, it's like you can't concentrate on anything because they're all just talking at the same time, being rambunctious and everything. So like it's kind of like reflects how they are in a way in real life. And I can understand why people are like, oh, this is a new 2 p.m. But really, it's not a new 2 p.m. It's really just them doing a slightly choreographed dance to music that reflects how they
it's just a
are.
different kind of. It's just a different concept of them. I mean, other than the kind of like beefcake,
Beefcake.
Chippendales thing that they, were doing before. You
Well,
know, it,
yeah, I mean, like Atoy was such a good song, but apparently people didn't like it. Like at least Korea and the public wise, they didn't like it. Like they didn't rank that high on the charts, and then
It didn't rank high at
they didn't.
all. It's really bad. And it's their best
And
song. I don't understand.
so it's just like so I don't know I don't really understand why people complain if they do one type of thing, oh, people don't like it. If they try another thing, oh, people don't like that. So it's like, but what do you want for these guys? They're grown men. What do you want them to do? To be honest, so I don't know. I mean, I've been a 2 p.m. fan since the very beginning, and I'm enjoying it. Like I'm okay if they're not doing the whole like ad toy type concept again. I mean, they're kind of doing it with their comeback stages because their second song they're performing is "I'm Your Man," which is a was originally one of their Japanese singles, but they
Mhm.
did it in Korean. It's gonna be on their new album, and so they're doing that whole suits things and dancing and
Yeah.
finally opening the shirts and stuff. So, but in the end, I'm enjoying it. Like I'm having fun. 2 p.m. looks like they're having fun. I'm having fun watching them. It's all good for me.
What do you think about though? Jay is coming back too, like around the same time.
Jay's already
Uh,
back, to be
it's already
fair.
back.
Yeah.
I don't care. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I just, you
I
know,
I
I stopped
they're
caring
any
about
fans,
awkward
though. I
moments.
don't know why anybody. I don't know why people are so weird about it.
Mm.
Like
that.
it's forever ago. A bunch of them have said that like they don't hate him, so Jay doesn't hate them. Like, I don't know why people are making it more awkward than it probably is. I bet they see each other backstage and they're like, "Hey," and they keep walking. Like,
It's just funny because there's still people on the internet going, I miss their again and again days. And I'm like, how long ago was that? They're a completely different group
well, you can
now.
still miss the past. It doesn't mean that like they haven't moved on, you know? Like I
Yeah,
didn't
I mean, but
I
that's what I'm saying. Like, they've moved on, they've matured, they've developed into something different.
right,
And
but I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, "Oh, I miss again and again." Like that's fine to say that. It's just one thing if you're like, "Oh, I won't support this group until they're this, until they have Jay back and
yeah, but
they're the
that's what I'm
old
saying. Like, they're never gonna be at that point again. They've moved past that and beyond that.
I
So,
guess. I mean, they could go back to making music like again and again. It's not like they can't do that image
but that
again.
would be going backward, you know.
I don't.
They're
I
like,
don't see them ever doing that again. To be honest,
yeah.
I
Right,
don't.
I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying that you can, as a fan, be like, "Oh, I miss these days," and not be like, "Oh, I miss these days. I'm never gonna support this group." Like, I don't see that many people doing that. Like, I'll never support this group until Jay's back. I see people being like, "Oh, I miss again and again," and that's it. Like, "Oh, this song's okay, but I miss again and again." Like, I miss old Big Bang, but I still listen to all the new Big Bang. It doesn't matter to me. Um, I'm gonna miss old Nine Muses, but I'm still gonna listen to new Nine Muses. It doesn't you don't by saying oh I miss again and again it doesn't necessarily mean these people are saying oh I won't support this group moving forward. They miss this old group. you know you can miss an old group that's
I
gone for a
guess
long
this is
time.
because it carries so much baggage with Jay and all of that. But there's also people with you guys were mentioning how Adtoy didn't do so great last time around. There's people wondering with EXO and Winner being so popular, is 2PM, do they still have the fan base? Do they still have the popularity to, make it, with this single or,
Yeah.
just
I
make it in
mean,
general?
with 2 p.m., their popular kind of got a kind of bit of a hit because like they came up, they did Hands Up, and then they didn't come back like to Korea for like 2 years until 2 years later because Hands Up was 2011 and they didn't have a Korean back until last year, which is 2013. Because during that time they concentrated on their stuff with Japan, which to be honest was a huge boost for them in Japan because they're doing so well in Japan right now.
Hmm.
As a group and individually, like Junkei's solo album in Japan ranked number one. Junho's album ranked number one in Japan. While in like Korea, like they both released like the Korean version, and they were like nowhere to be heard of. Like really. I mean, they didn't really promote it in Korea, but still,
Hmm.
that just kind of shows you that unless it's like the hardcore fans, people don't really care about their individual solo stuff. But but yeah, like so like 2 p.m. spent a good time, concentrating on Japan. So that kind of did hurt them, at least with in Korea, because at that time, EXO came out and all these other male groups came out, and now Winner's out. So and then GOT7 is back at GOT7 debuted as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if some hottest decided to become GOT7 fans or whatever it is. But I mean, in the end,
Hmm.
they still have the fan base because they still have some of the numbers. Is it smaller than it was before during their again and again days? Yeah, definitely. But they're still doing their thing, and they're now in their 6th year since they've debuted. Things happen. But I'm sure from what I'm seeing, like some of the netizens' comments have been slightly negative, but all in all, I'm seeing more positive than negative. So.
Yeah, I think people are just really quick to dismiss a group if they're gone for a long time.
Hmm.
But some of these groups are older, like 2PM's older now. They don't like older groups just don't come back that often. Big Bang's older now, and they just don't come back that often. They don't even have to win anymore. Like it's not about winning for a lot of these groups. Do they want to win? I'm sure. You know, I'm sure Super Junior came back and wanted to win. I'm sure 2PM just came back and they hope they win. Like I have no doubt that they want that. But I think people overestimate what winning does to your as a guide of popularity. A good example is Got Seven. Got Seven hasn't won yet, and they're really popular. It's not an issue of them not being popular, and that's why they're not winning. They're just not winning because they go against stiff competition every time they decide to come out.
Or on the other side of the coin, you have someone like Girls' Generation that wins so much, it's like not even, it doesn't
People don't
even
care.
register anymore.
Yeah,
It's just,
they don't care, and people don't care. Their fans don't care either. Like it
yeah,
just doesn't matter. They come back and everybody knows they're gonna win. It's like, oh, SNSD's back. They're gonna win. It'll be
yeah.
more shocking if they don't win, because the only song they haven't won with, or they didn't win with, since they like really blew up, was that what is it called? Run Devil Run. They didn't win with that song. So it's
Hmm.
like they've
That's like
just
one of the few songs of theirs that I actually kind of liked.
that is the only song of theirs that I really like.
Yeah.
Well,
The only
I
one.
can't say not all these fans don't care because last week on Inkigayo it was Sistar versus Super Junior versus Winner, and Sister won. And there were these fans that like, how did they win? Oh, blah blah blah. Oh, it's because their company is buying back the songs and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
And it's
that's
Were
like,
they?
and I'm
every
like,
Was
time
first of
that
all,
Sister comes
netizens
back,
or?
there's that whole buyback.
it was elves. Like no, like it was like Super
Oh,
Junior fans. And let
it's
me tell it was
yeah.
funny though because I'm like in the end though, even if Sister didn't win, Winner would have won because Super Junior was in third place, Winner was in second place. So I don't know where y'all coming from, but
Yeah.
but Super Junior was not meant to win
Kiara,
this award. People
Kiara's
got
like,
How
I'm ready to go out in the parking lot. I don't know about you, but
no, people got my blood going pumping when I was reading some of these comments because it's like Sister win because their song did well. Like fans have been, their fan base isn't as big as Super Junior, but it's getting bigger. Like the amount of like new fangirls they
I
have
think,
now is kind of
yeah,
crazy.
I think they have, like I said, that same appeal that 4 Minute has, where they're very popular with the public. Whereas like Super Junior is just the opposite. They have a very dedicated fan base, but the public is not, you know, so
the
enchanted
public
with them.
hates them right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't mince words. The public hates them because a bunch of their members are dicks. That's why the public doesn't like them. I'm sorry for all you Super Junior fans, but your oppas are dicks. Like you need to just deal with it.
But that, I mean, there's two different sides of the coin, and they're both groups that can release stuff and win. So I mean, you know, there goes the whole thing about the whole music show winning system. I can't even understand it.
Right,
Someone
I
tried
should
to explain
say
it one time, and I was like, whatever.
I shouldn't say that a lot of people, or there's a lot of fans that just don't really care, period. Because obviously, like when Big Bang came back, all the Big Bang fans wanted Big Bang to win. Okay, that's
VIPs.
fair. But I don't feel like it becomes that big of an issue for like older groups. As you get older, I feel like people know that your time as an idol is limited. Like
Yeah.
6 years is a good run, and 2PM 's still going
Or like
strong.
if you're established, just like, you've been winning all these years, what's one more trophy? It doesn't matter if you win,
Right.
type of
It's the
thing.
same
Yeah.
as like when Rain came back.
Yeah.
I don't think he cared about winning, and it didn't seem like he did. He
Yeah, Rain
performed like
or
did a bunch of fun
Fiore.
stuff. Yeah, Hiyori too. And like
Yeah.
as a member of Rain's fan base, I didn't care about him winning. I just wanted him to come
You're a
back.
cloud.
Hell yeah, I am. Rain is the very first group that I truly liked when I got into K-pop. The first group I was introduced to was Super Junior. And I was bored to tears because I hated them. But all of my friends liked them, and I was like, oh my god! And all my friends were leaving Japanese rock music, and so I was going with them, and I was like, I can't get into this music. Like, I'm just gonna go listen to American music and just give up. And then I saw, I can't remember what Rain video I saw. I think I saw I'm Coming, and that was it. I was like, oh my god, an artist that can sing and dance and looks like an American R&B singer. I'm there. It was game over.
Did you say
You're a
I'm
Game.
coming or I'm raining?
clown.
I think it was I'm raining.
It's
Or it's
raining.
raining.
It's raining.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So, okay, so what do we think of the song itself? Is it a club banger? Is it catchy?
It's not,
Where do we rank it among other 2 p.m. songs?
it's I wouldn't say it's a club banger. It's more like the song that you would definitely like put on you would put on and just like go crazy dancing in your room or something. You're like it's just something you fun listening to
Yeah,
in the
their dance
car.
moves were a little like I saw them trying to do that whole I don't know like
Motorcycle.
motorcycle yeah thing in the video, and I was like okay, but
Yeah.
yeah
I mean, I
I,
think I forgot which dance move. I think it's the one what they do with their arms. They kind of call it like the old man dance or something like that. Like,
yeah
they know it's fun. They know this is not something like, a young, fresh idol group would ever do, but they're having fun with it. They're kind of like, we don't care. We
yeah.
like this. This is fun for us, and we're going to do it. That's 2PM's mentality right now. They don't care about dancing like sharp moves, like as a unison, like some of these younger idol groups do. Like they're just like whatever, we're here to have fun. And you can tell when you watch them perform, they're like having so much fun. They're like whatever. We're
And I
here.
think that's smart also. I mean, because like we've mentioned before, like they're older, they don't have to, maybe place as much emphasis on winning awards and stuff. And so, it looks good on them to be more about, okay, we're just going to focus more on performing and being there for the fans and that sort of thing than trying to, be the most perfect on point boy band ever in the world. It makes them much more appealing.
Mm.
Personally
Um,
to me.
I first I want to say that I was right. There is a song called "I'm Coming" by Rain, and that is the song that I saw. Thank you. It's featuring
Uh,
Tablo,
okay.
Okay.
so that is a real song. I
Okay.
wasn't crazy.
Okay.
Okay, 'cause I was
I
just saying,
I
what?
Although
believe you.
that
I
I don't
believe
know, I don't know if the remembering the music video would bring it back, but there's like a crashed plane and he's in like military fatigues dancing. That's like the whole
Oh,
music
okay. I
video,
remember that.
and everything's
Okay.
all thrashed and stuff around him, and he's just dancing.
Okay. Okay.
But anyways, I don't like the song, but I like that 2PM's having fun. So for me, I don't care. Like they look like they're having such a good time that I'm just like, yeah, go for it. Be 2PM. Do you? I'm not like a huge 2PM fan anyways, so I'd rather have them have fun than not have fun and not be successful. So I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I
not
don't
to
know.
say that I think they hated doing Auditoy, but they didn't do good at all. So I feel like having such a serious song and not doing good must be
I feel
like
like for a while
painful.
though the whole like manly idol Chippendales ripped shirt thing was getting a little too much. I mean, it was okay for a while. Like that was because after Jay, they kind of needed a new identity, and that became their kind of thing. But after a while, it was like, okay, what else can you do? They weren't really known for being talented, and I think that's why you know Junkei kind of split and did his own. He wanted to do a solo thing, and that sort of thing, because they were like, well, they're gonna go up on stage and wiggle their butts or strip, rip their shirt open, because they're the manly idols. But it's nice to see them do something different, every once in a while. I think for me, that's at least for me and K-pop idols. I think that's, I guess, something that I value a lot too. Is groups that can can do different things, can show different aspects of their personality. They're not just the sexy group or the cute group or the whatever. They're just them. And I think that's the most appealing thing to me. That's what makes me a fan of someone. Um, more than anything else.
That's kind of funny because I feel like the groups that switch their image a lot have a harder time holding fans. So I think it's like I'm kind of in the boat with you too. Like I like to see groups that can do more things.
Hmm.
Um, but I kind more beyond that, I like groups that um, have an
Consistency.
like a sense of an image, but they can do things that relate to that image. Like Big Bang has this hip hop group. image thing that they have, right? Like this, we do idol hip hop type music, and it can be poppy, it can be different genres, but you hear like a Big Bang song, and you're like, oh, that's Big Bang, and that's the vibe I
Yeah.
get with 2 p.m. as well. Like a 2 p.m. song comes on, I'm like, oh, that's gotta be 2 p.m. Like
Hmm.
Go Crazy is kind of a little different, but I still get the like hands up vibe from it. Like it's a party.
Yeah.
Only 2 p.m. could be making this song right now. Like I don't think
Yeah.
there's any other dude group that could make this song and make people be like, yeah, this is a banger. Anybody else would be like, this is really tacky. You need to stop.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's more what I mean. Not a group that constantly just changes concepts, like say, um,
Girls' Day.
Girls'
They
Day,
they
or
they
maybe
have two
after,
concepts though. They don't
after,
change
or
concept.
maybe after school. Girls' Day has been kind of they've done that. They've been kind of switching up since the beginning.
They're cute or
Um,
sexy. That's it. What do you mean? Like all their songs before were still cute songs. They were still cute.
well, that's what I'm saying. They've been switching up since the beginning. They do something really cute, and then they would do something kind of sexy, and yeah, I mean they've kind of been doing that since the beginning. But
But that's like Sister does that, Secret does it, like every girl group does that. I don't think that's innovative. Like they
I
just
guess
that's
it's
it.
something intangible, especially with girl groups, because I think for girl groups it's harder for them to kind of find that niche. Um,
Well,
like
I think
y-
that's because of the market that they have to cater to.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean
That's
that's what
mostly
I'm
what it
saying.
is.
I mean because of the nature of who they have to sell themselves to, for lack of a better term.
It's the right term.
Yeah, it's harder. It's harder for them to kind of be able to kind of have a sense of self, and still be able to sell, I guess. And I think that's one thing that I guess I think that's I know that's one reason why I like the Wonder Girls, because I felt like that was a thing that they had, was an identity, and they never felt like they threw that away um to cater to one specific group, or anything. And for me to not bring things down so much, but I felt like I saw that in Ladies Code as well, which was one thing that I which was one thing that made me very sad, was I felt like Ladies Code had that kind of aspect to them as well. But yeah, yeah, I mean I guess that's the thing I look for with girl groups, and with the industry, the Korean entertainment industry, the way it is. I mean, it can't help but be difficult. I mean, um, if you don't mind, on our way to, before we get to T-ara, Spica came
Yes.
out with a new song, Spica S, which is basically Spica without Boa. Came out with a new song, without it's a Brave Brothers song.
Unfortunately.
So it Yeah, unfortunately. So which means it sounds very, very familiar, but they still work it. I love Spica. They're so talented, and I don't know what it's gonna take for South Korea to like get on their train. I don't know.
They
I'm
need a
baffled
brown
by
eyed
the
girls
fact that
type hit. They need
what.
something like Abracadabra. Like they need a dance hit. That's the issue that Spica has. They don't have any dance hits.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now that you mention that, yeah, I think if it maybe that would be best if they went like the brown-eyed girls route, and did something mature and sexy but very catchy,
Well,
because
you have to first get the fan base though. That's the issue. Spica is
but did
incredibly
brown-eyed girls
talented.
have the fan base for Abracadabra?
No, they had a very small fan base that loved them, and then Abracadabra blew up. It blew them out of the water. They had
That's what I'm
been
saying. I
working.
think the speaker could do the same thing if they had the
Right.
right song, of course.
But that's what I'm saying, because you said have them do something like sexy and like mature or like
Yeah.
serious, right?
Yeah.
But Abracadabra is not really that serious. It's kind of just like their fun
Well,
song,
not,
right?
I mean, not serious, but concept wise, they're not
But
like.
it was kind of a fun concept too. Like for them, that's a fun concept. You know what I
Well,
mean?
okay. Okay.
Like they need to make a song that appeals to dance crazes. Dance crazes were super in when Abracadabra hit, so maybe it won't work as well now, but that's still like the route that you
I
should
think if
go.
they had something that was super catchy, it would still hit. Um,
Right,
because I
because
think
Crayon
with
Pop
the
did it recently, so I mean,
yeah, I mean, because I think with the I see what they're trying to do with the Brave Brothers thing. It's just I wish people would stop using Brave Brothers and just it's just they use the same sound they're over and over and it's just it's not even they're not even trying at this point.
you know what's
um,
really funny is I don't like Brave Brothers either, but the music that came from the artists on Brave Entertainment is way better than most Brave Brothers songs. And that's really sad because that's their
that
label.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
I don't even because
I
they had that
expected all
group
their groups
called
to be
Brave Girls
garbage.
or whatever,
Yeah.
and they like disappeared. They had like their
But
own
their songs
group.
weren't garbage. That's the weird part. And then they had Big Star, who's still there, and they have a new song that just came out. And it's fantastic. Like I don't know how much Brave Bros had a part of it, but they, Big Star's gonna come back sometime this month or early next month. Um, and they released a song ahead of time that was composed by Baram, Field Dog, and Rayjuan. And it's beautiful. It's a really, really nice ballad, and it doesn't sound like anything Brave Brothers. So I'm like, why can't you give this kind of music to people? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, especially with speakers, like they were just like, "Oh, here's our leftovers. You know, here's something that we decided wasn't good enough for Sistar." And another thing that just made me so angry was everyone knows Speaker can sing. You know, they have harmonies, they have great voices, and I felt the song just did them like no justice at all in the vocals category. I mean, I felt like it was so. I mean, if they wanted to do like a sexy dance concept, I feel like there were so many different ways that they could have done it that would have been so much more awesome than that. I don't know.
um,
I,
I totally agree with the song being garbage. Like I like Spica a lot. I got into them after the song that they had like Hori in the music video. That song and then You Don't Love Me, right? Is that what the other one was
I
called?
love them from Russian Roulette. I like
Right.
them
I went
from
back
like
and listened to their stuff and their vocals have been on point like day one. Like
yeah,
they're so talented. It's another one of those groups that's like so incredibly talented that it is such a shame that more people don't like them. And at least like Spica has a nice following here in the West. Like people here have
yeah,
realized how good they are. They got a huge pop at KCON and that's great. Like all the fan
that's
cams of
good.
people going nuts. It's so nice and I'm sure they were so happy. And those girls seem like genuinely nice girls. Their label appears to be taking care of them because Boa has freaked out about having to wear midriff shirts and they didn't make her do the sexy image. So, and the
Yeah,
other girls
apparently
don't
Boa is
mind.
gonna have her own solo
Right,
debut
it's a two-part
part.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, following this song, but
So I think it's nice that they let Spica be sexy because I think that those girls wanted to do a sexy image. I know that I think it's their Maknae. I know she likes the sexy image. So it's good that they let them do it, that they didn't force Boa to do something she would hate, because she would hate that music video. Good lord, if she was complaining about midriffs. It's nice that they let them do that. It just sucks that they gave them such a garbage song.
yeah.
Um, but
I mean,
they look
I
great.
think it's
So
because it's because Brave Brothers they've been used so many times, so many times, so many times, and they're like, okay, well, we'll use another one of their songs, but it's just pulling from a dry well at this point. I didn't love Brave Brothers to begin with. To be honest, the only song I think that I've liked of theirs truly has been Alone. And I really think every other song has just been some different version of that song. I mean, honestly, I don't think they've done anything different since then. Um, so I mean, I was disappointed on that in that you know sense, but um,
Spica should be like Sistar, because Sistar totally kicked Brave Brothers to the curb and were like, "Hello to
Yes,
a
I
double
was
pancake."
so glad. That was one thing. I didn't love Touch My Body, but I was like, thank God they have a different sound. They're doing something different, and I swear is a million times better, and it's just so much better. It's just, yeah. Everyone is better without Brave Brothers. They just need to go sit down for a while and count their wand, and just, from the past few years, and just, you know, go and maybe do like JYP did and go to Israel and, meditate and, get some inspiration from somewhere, because yeah, it's not working for me. But I love Speaker, so it hurts me to say that. I will support them, and I did kind of like their English song too.
I love their English song. Like,
I
haven't heard it
yeah, I was
recently.
surprised. I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I did like. I thought it was catchy and it was cute, and
I was
I
gonna
like
say
that
it
they
was
did.
really cute, and their English is really freaking adorable. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even care.
yeah, I thought their English was pretty good. I mean, it didn't sound bad at all to me, and I like that they, just kind of dipped their toes in. They didn't, decide to stay here for like 2 years or whatever.
Thank God.
So, since we're using Speaker as a transition point, everyone's favorite group, T-ara, has come back. Six members with their new song "Sugar Free" and their MV. Um, and surprise, surprise, came back with another scandal. This time it's kind of a plagiarism scandal. Sugar free. Some well, it's a EDM song, house music, that sort of thing, which actually might get into more. I think that's where they shine the most. However, some people have found similarities between Sugar Free and this group Babies. It's a song called Tsunami. And then the intro is similar to another EDM song called "Give Me Body." Um, then also their album cover looks like the same album artwork of Justice, which is a popular electronic music duo. Core Contents, their agency, says that they have not heard of these issues. I mean, there are. The only thing I can judge at this point is the album covers, and there's similarities. But
Similarities? It's the same. What do you mean?
I mean, it's the same, but it's like I can see it because they made it into a T, so it's tiara. It's not a cross.
It's the
Um,
same. They photoshopped out the cross. That's all they did. Like, let's be real. I'm typically the one who defends people on plagiarism. They ripped this off. Like, they clearly stole it. It's the
I
same.
can't. I can't speak on the music though because I haven't heard the other songs.
Yeah, I
Um,
won't say anything about the music because I don't know.
um, dance music all sounds the same to me anyway, so
Exactly.
a lot of that, I would probably feel that way. Um, the album covers, they do look alike. Um, although I mean, this is the type of thing that happens in K-pop all the time, but this is also T-ara, so since it's T-ara that this is happening to, this is um 1,000 times worse than if it would happen to anyone else. As one netizen has put it, disbandment is the only answer. Um,
Disbanded is the only answer.
yes.
Uh,
I have to give it to them to keep going with all of this. I don't even know. Um, I I have to say when I first listened to their song and watched their MV the other day, um, it's probably the song I've most liked by them in a while. It reminds me of their absolute first album days, which was the album they first came out with, which was mostly kind of house dance music, and I think that they kind of excel at that better. Um, they're it I feel like it fits them better. Absolute first album in particular was pretty good. They're back to the original six, which for me, I don't know why that was changed in the first place. But I don't run core content, so whatever. Um,
No one runs. No one runs that label. Are you kidding me? It's like a monkey in a wheel, just like throwing poop at the walls and hoping for the best. It's awful. That
Or
label is terrible.
um, but yeah, I thought it sounded okay. Like I said, the dance music I think is where they excel at. Um, Not my favorite song that I've heard lately, but I've like I said, I feel like that fits in better than a lot of this stuff they've done in the last few years. And it's pretty catchy in parts, and yeah, it's better than Tillman's single solo effort. So, what do you think, Kiara?
Um, well, first of all, the video needs like a warning in the beginning for
Speaker
those.
warning. Needs it.
Like I'm not that sensitive to flashing and to lights, but watching that video, like I had to like look away from the computer screen for a while because my eyes were hurting. Like, and I know people who are sensitive to those type of things, so y'all need a warning. Y'all
Yeah.
need to put a warning on that because that's dangerous. But because it was just a flashlight. It kind of reminds me of their video, "Going Crazy" or "Meet You Guys" or whatever that song was. Um,
Oh, I think I remember that.
I
The
go
where
the
like
crazy
one
for
that sounded
beer.
like a Britney Spears song.
Yeah, the Britney Spears song. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I can't watch that video either too much because because they change the pace of the change of each scene is so fast. Like you don't really understand what you're watching, to be honest. And so, and if you include like flashing lights with that, like they did in this T-ara video, I was just like, oh my god. But the song itself, it's okay. It does remind me of their first album, like during of that whole era. I would think it would be better without vocals. So if they can just give me the instrumental to the song, it's fine with me. I don't need the vocals. Um, because and the thing is, like, I watched them perform this song, and I couldn't even finish the whole performance, to be
That's
honest.
the thing.
Because
Tiara ruins everything with they're horrible performers. So pretty much even if you like a song of theirs, it ruins everything to watch the actual performance.
like Sooyeon's dead or whatever her name is, like her dead fish eye look that she always has, that's gotten worse with time because of her photo because her photoshopping or whatever her eyes photoshopping, but her plastic surgery.
Oh my god.
But her plastic surgery, I don't know what it is, whatever she done to her eyes, like it makes it even worse.
Her face.
I can't watch her perform. Like out of all of them, like if I see her perform, like I have to look away because it ticks
The
me off.
sad thing was the only person that I felt like ever had any energy in that group was the one that got kicked out. What
The
was her name?
rapper.
Yeah, the one that was a rapper.
Hwayeon, yeah.
Yeah, she was the only one I felt like ever had any energy, and
She had enough energy for one of her boobs to pop out of her shirt.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was coming. I didn't say that. I want everybody to put it on record. I didn't say it, okay?
No, but I love her. Like she wasn't my favorite while she was in the group, so and I felt so bad for her when that happened to her. And you know what was funny? Like while that whole situation happened, like the other members were like whatever about it. It was like with her. It was her going around with her twin sister, like like doing all these things, like kind of doing all these photo shoots and things, just to get the attention away from that. But
yeah. Well, it's obvious they did not care about her or I don't know. Did they add someone else to the group? I don't even remember. Yeah,
Yeah, they had like
whoever else was added to the group. I mean, like I said, I don't know why they moved beyond six. I remember something stupid about like the girls having to fight to stay in the group or compete or something stupid like that.
I know they do the whole
CCM
they do the whole
CCM
rotating.
basically, yeah, CCM basically said like if you aren't up to snuff, we'll kick you, basically, and that's what made it a competition. Like if there's a girl who's better than you, and she can take your place, she will. Because
Which
CCM is a great label to work with, you know.
CCM is horrible. They screwed up with $5. I'll never forgive them for this. They screwed up $5. They screwed up because they were a co-ed group.
well,
Co-ed.
yeah, co-ed, yeah.
They
Oh,
screwed that up.
whoa, co-ed screwed themselves.
Well,
Don't
that guy.
even.
Well, the
That one
guy.
guy
Well, kicking him
screwed
after
co-ed.
after kicking him out, they should have continued. But no,
And Five
CCM.
Dollars
No,
did
No.
it
have that
made their
whole
group look
bullying
bad.
scandal. I mean, they were kind of screwed up from the start, but
Yeah,
that may have been partly KKS's um that may have been partly their fault because they did hire those people. So yeah.
But
like
whatever. $5.
co-ed school was done at that scandal.
Well,
I'm
that was
sorry.
fine. That's fine. But $5 was so great. Those five girls together, and then they did something and let my favorite member go, Sunmi, and then after
Yep,
that, I just stopped caring.
game over. Once she was gone,
So
game over. Ruined it.
So, okay, one thing I want to say about T-ara is I remember when they first came out and I thought they were okay, like I said. They've never been dynamic performers or anything. But for some reason, I really enjoy their absolute first album. And I don't know what it is about it. It's the electronic music, the dance music, is it just suits them or what? And it's sad because I really enjoy the songs on that album, but I know it's like if they were to perform it, it would just lose I would lose any excitement I would have about those songs. But I stand by the fact that their first album, their first effort, whatever you want to call it, absolute first album is very good, and I feel like this is a step back to their roots. How and that's a good thing. However, um, you know, there's still the whole issue of them being an effective group, which I don't think they are or really ever have been. They just don't function as a group. They function as six boy girls on stage. Um, and that kind of pisses me off because they do get some good songs, some good concepts, and it's just here comes T-ara, and it's like it reminds me of the. You guys will probably not find this funny at all, but you guys remember? Either of you remember the show Mad TV?
Matthew,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, okay. So they had this sketch show where they with this one woman on the show who used to play Whitney Houston on several sketches, and they did one where they did like a tribute thing to her, and they did a dance tribute. And the joke was, of course, Whitney Houston was never a dancer. She never danced, you know. The most she ever did was like side to side two step or whatever. So they had this woman. It was like Pink is going to come and do a dance tribute to for Whitney Houston, because Pink had done a dance tribute for Janet Jackson or something on MTV like that year or something. So is they would play one of Whitney's few fast songs, and Pink would like start and all these dancers would be like leaping and jumping onto the stage, and everything would just stop, and then they would just kind of step side to side and just look like they're about to fall asleep. It was just like the most lame two step you could ever see to these really fast songs. Like they would come in and there would be this huge intro flips and then screech halt two step. That's how I feel T-ara is. Dynamic songs, you're waiting for something to happen, and it's like dead. And
That's more praise than I would give them, but
I just, yeah, I think that's my whole kind of relationship with them. I've never like downright hated them, like, and I wanted them to go, you know, you know, fall into a pit at the bottom of hell or 7 layers of hell, like some people seem to want to. But um, I do think that, and I don't know if it's because of their management, what the maybe what the poor girls have to go through management wise or what, but I don't know. I can't even decide whether they're popular or not. They have a lot of haters, but their songs tend to do decent, don't they?
Um,
We can't even decide.
sorry, choking.
Oh no.
don't die.
It's so funny.
They've had a few hits. I mean,
I mean, it seems like generally their songs tend to do well. It's just, but people also hate them so much, and they don't really do much to endear themselves to the public.
well, people started hating them. That's when their songs started doing bad. Like they they were doing pretty good, and then they had that whole scandal, and then it's just been like a steady fall from that point.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really like a lot of their songs past. For me anyway, the quality started to go down with the Britney Spears, you know, you know, song kind of
I think that's
sounding
their
song.
best song. So
I didn't like it because I was like, this
that's
is
off
this
the
is the Britney.
Absolute album too. So I don't know. I don't know what you're
No, it's
talking
not.
about. Yes, it
It's on
is.
like the expanded album or something. I had the original
It's still
download.
part of that album. It's still part of that album.
Whatever. Okay, fine, fine. But but yeah. I mean I don't know. I don't even know what to think of them anymore. I almost have like I almost admire them just because they're still out there performing and you know just being idols and knowing they know how much crap they get from netizens. So
My my issue is like it's still recent that they've done poorly. That's the problem. Like T-ara's always gotten negative feedback from netizens, but who hasn't? Like it's only
yeah.
been since the bullying thing that they really, really sharply fell because they won with "I Go Crazy Because of You." They got second with "Roly Poly," which was a huge hit. Everybody loved it. They got first with "Cry Cry." They got first with "We're in Love." They got first with "Lovey Dovey." They got second with "Day by Day," and then that was the end of like T-ara on their run. And then it was like number nine they went down, "Sexy Love" they went down, both 4 and 5, and then number nine hit or then because I don't even know what song that is, but I got 41, and it's like what happened? You know. So I think it's still recent that they have found themselves on such hard times in terms of being a successful girl group. Um, and it's not like girl groups get a lot of good commentary all of the time anyways, so I don't think that that should matter as much. Like netizens hate T-ara, okay, netizens also said that Kara would never win with their new group and they won, so clearly netizens don't have their finger on the pulse at all times. um, that being said, T-ara is a little bit different because they had such a very public scandal, and then they went from having all these extra girls to let's get rid of all the extra girls and let's go back to six, which makes them look even more like bullies, in my opinion. Like that didn't save their image. Um, and then for this song, I think it's garbage. I hate this song. Like I don't like the music video. The only saving grace for me is that my two favorite members look really good. And other than that, I think the song's boring and then watching them perform it makes me want to die. So, um
I heard the what's her name, the girl from Exit that you really like. She recorded the demo for it, and that's why you can kind of hear her when you hear the song. Because some
Ellie?
people, yeah, because they say that that's why they kind of sound different too. Because she did the demo, and then I think they didn't fully get rid of her voice. So, because some people keep saying like, why do they sound like Hyuna? And it's because it's her voice mixed with with Tiara's member's voice. That's why it sounds like that.
Oh, interesting. I haven't heard that.
I thought you would know that because I'm like, oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
I just don't like oh, you know what? That makes sense because Shinseidong Tiger did the song and he's in love with Ellie. So that makes perfect sense to me actually. Like now that I think about it, perfect sense. That makes perfect sense to me. I could see her doing the actual demo. That makes sense because he used her as his muse for so long. And it makes sense that he didn't completely remove it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to hear her version of it because I'm sure it's better.
Way better.
But but if it's not that or nor the instrumental, I think I'll kind of pass on the song. Like I'll listen to it once in a while, but I won't watch the performances because I tried it and I couldn't even finish it because they're just that bad. I think performance wise, like they just don't. I know because especially the dance is really like loose, like they're just moving side to side, like in the chorus. But it's so lackluster and like when you compare it to like performances like 2 p.m. who also have their comeback who are have so much energy and then you watch them perform, it's just like, oh, this is a mood killer. Like I can't do this. It's a dance song but it's a mood killer. Like how do you just I can't. I'm sorry, Tiara. I like number 9 better to be honest. So
Yeah, I think number nine's better. I don't like number nine either, but I think it's way better than this. I genuinely like I hear this song and it's just garbage to me. So I think they're probably gonna be as successful as they should be with this song. That's all I'm saying. It hasn't charted yet, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's not charting.
no surprise surprise, but yeah.
Did we lose? Did we lose you?
Ash.
Yeah, did we lose Ash? Ash, are you here?
uh, no
Uh-oh.
wonder it's silent.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I think she's been slayed.
You there,
Oh,
Ash?
oh, I hear things.
I think she's trying to.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can
Okay,
hear you
we
now.
can hear you now.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Hello.
'cause I was talking for a while and I don't think you guys heard me.
Nope.
No.
We got nothing.
So you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. Oh, well, all I was saying was I felt that this song at number 9 was at least.
Oh, you're gone again.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you have like static. Are you having like, is your mic getting pulled out or something?
No, I'm like hearing no problems on my end. Okay. Well, any final things to say on Tiara?
Uh, no thanks. Try
Um,
again.
yeah, basically. I'd like part of me wants to be like, I want to be with those netizens that are like, why are you still even a group? But then again, I love Unji and I love Jian, and I don't want to not see them. So I don't know. I guess I got to deal with it. I wish I could see them without Hyomin. That'd be great. I'd be so about that.
Hyomin and Soyeon. Well, Soyeon is.
Yeah, they can
Well, I don't
go.
know.
Can I
Okay.
get T-ara? What is that? 5? No, 4. Can I get T-ara
Oh.
4 and we get rid of those two?
T4. That sounds good.
T4.
Oh yeah,
I'm
they already
about it.
did that.
They did T3, didn't they? They didn't do T4.
They did 4. I thought they did that.
Oh,
That song.
oh.
Oh,
That
that's.
was like N4, and that had the member I don't want. Like, I don't want that member. Don't want TR N4 because TR N4 has freaking
Oh yeah,
awful
that one that
Hyomin
they got,
pretending she can
other one
rap.
they got rid of. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
don't want
right.
that.
Well, like I said earlier, Tateso Girls' Generation subgroup is coming up soon, so that will it won't matter anyway because they're going to very much take whatever spot they had um, prior to that. Um, okay. Any last thoughts for the week before we sign off?
Did you guys see those photos of Bomb at the airport?
Oh
I
my
did.
god. I can't handle it. It's so
She
bad.
looked like her. She looked like Bomb.
Are you serious? She looks like a monster.
I
Like
mean,
you, you can't deny that she got something done again, and I'm just like this is an addiction. Like this is not good. And I know fans like want to support her and be like, oh, whatever, she wants to get plastic. I'm like, I'm not against people getting plastic surgery, but when you're getting to a point where you do it so much that your face doesn't look how it originally looked, it's kind of an issue now. I think,
uh,
It's
especially.
one thing to get plastic surgery. I have nothing against plastic surgery. You go and you go and make changes to yourself to make yourself happy. It's fine. But
Right.
again, like, and I've touched on this issue before, I think even on the podcast, but if you are going to be a public figure and get plastic surgery, you have to be ready for the fact that people aren't going to like it. I don't feel that I should be expected to like and support somebody who is changing their face so drastically. There's tons of other people that do it, and we make jokes about it. And it's like if she's loved by the community, people are like, "That's messed up. You can't say that." No, I will say that. She needs to stop. Like she has an issue,
I
and I
wonder if it's
agree.
an emotional thing because she's gone through the whole drug scandal and then she comes back and looks different.
But she's been doing that every single time they go on break. She gets something done. She has looked different between every single set of promotions. Like all she does is get work done at this point.
Hmm.
I mean, I think the issue is that she has an issue, and it's probably aggravated by the fact that she had a scandal. I have no problem admitting that. But she has an issue, and it is not this scandal that's her issue. It is the fact that she has an issue.
Mm.
Hmm.
I remember just people posting it on Twitter, and I was just like, "Oh my God, is that Bomb?" And, like her face, like her cheeks and her lips are like so swollen, and it's just like, and I don't even know how her eyes look because she has sunglasses on. So
Exactly. That's
There's a
probably
picture of
what's
her on
happening.
stage from the YG Family concert, and she's like smiling, I guess. You can't tell that her face is moving. It's like you
Well,
can
you
see
couldn't
her
tell
teeth,
that
and that's how you know her
before, to
mouth
be
isn't moving.
quite honest.
Because she was getting surgery when before she debuted, before there was To Anyone, and there were videos of her when she was young and performing with Big Bang. You could see her smile, her face moved. When To Anyone even first debuted and she would smile, you could see her face, it moved. From that point on, her face stopped moving. Like it just progressively stopped moving.
Well,
Like
yeah, I mean, it's obvious if you look at pictures of her from their debut, she looks completely different, obviously. Yeah.
like I agree that it's a problem. I wouldn't, or I should say, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a problem. That being said, like we can't pretend that it looks the same. Her face is changing. Like that's what is happening and it's awful. And somebody needs to like I don't know if she needs to sit down and talk with somebody. Maybe that's it. Like she really has this issue and she needs help, but she needs to do something because she's really like going in on her face and it's not good.
mm,
Yeah. I mean, I actually thought when 2NE1 had their last comeback, they really dialed down the makeup and the hair on her, and it made her look a lot better. I don't know if it was just like, they didn't do a lot of crazy stuff to her hair and her makeup, so it made her look it suited her face a lot better. But I mean, if she keeps getting stuff done, there's only so much they're going to be able to do.
I think I think Bomb is in that boat where like she's so well loved by people that it's like if you comment on the fact that her face is changing, you're like a rude netizen, and there's a
Yeah.
bunch of people defending her. And I think she's past the point of being defended like that, because by defending her, we're sending a message that it's not, we don't think it's a problem, and we shouldn't send that message. It's a problem. That's
Yeah.
my take on it. Like, it's one thing to support somebody when they're doing something, but you shouldn't support somebody who's doing something that is clearly an issue. You shouldn't praise somebody for what seems to be like them self-destructing. Um, I had the same issue with all, like, and just to bring it to a Western reference, I had the same issue with all of the people who were fans of Amy Winehouse. Um, she was a known drug addict. She was such a drug addict that she refused to go and take treatment. She didn't want to go to rehab. She didn't want to go to rehab so bad she wrote a song about how she's not going to go to rehab, and
Mm.
she died, and we celebrate her. Why? She had a problem. She didn't care to fix it. She even had people come to try and help her, and she didn't care to fix it. She was in the hospital. She was hospitalized more than once for overdosing. Like, why are we pretending that everything she did was great? Did she make good music? Yeah, I guess. But she also sang a song about how she doesn't want to go to rehab and made it seem like it's cool to not go to rehab. No, it's not cool. Like, this is not okay. You can't just protect people. I don't like when people protect people who don't need to be protected. Bomb needs somebody to help her, and she doesn't need the fans to say, "It's okay, honey, you're beautiful." Like, she needs the fans to say, "You should get help." They don't have to call her ugly, but they should say, "You should get help." They gotta
Or,
say something.
you don't need to get plastic surgeries. Your face is fine. You know,
Right. Yeah.
you're,
Like, encourage her away from it. Don't make it okay for her to just do what she's doing. I mean, some people are going to say that that's overstepping, like, the fan boundaries, and maybe it is, but at the same time, like, somebody's got to tell her. Like, I don't care who tells her. I don't want to anyone to go anywhere. I don't want something to happen to them. I want to anyone to exist, and Bomb is part of to anyone, and I want her there. So don't, like, I want her to be okay. It's not like I just don't like her. I want her to be okay. She's got a problem and it needs to be fixed. Like, it's got to get
yeah.
fixed.
I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, whatever she's doing. I'm looking. There's some pictures that don't look as severe as some of the other ones I've seen. So maybe she didn't get anything as whatever she had done wasn't as drastic as we thought it was. But still, I mean, she's nearing. I don't know if she's 30 already. She's close to 30. If she's not 30, um,
I think
I
she's
should
past
talk.
30 already.
I should talk. But she, at that point, you have to be really careful with that kind of stuff with plastic surgery because it's really easy to go off the other end and, it's instead of looking young like you're trying to look, looking, you know, opposite of that, you're just looking like an alien or not like, someone that would exist in the real world. So, hopefully, you know, hopefully she's doing okay. Throughout the whole drug scandal, I was kind of worried because I was like, she didn't seem like she was able, just from their hair history, didn't know if mom would be able to handle something like that, and she wasn't. There wasn't a lot of pictures of her out and about, but she's been seen at like 21's concerts um, and the recent airport pictures. So um, hopefully, maybe just take a break, mom. Just let this be it for now, and let your face settle, and you know, yeah, and then guys, come to America so I can see you in person. Because I
Again,
missed you the
come to
first
America
time.
because they were here.
Because I missed you the first time.
Yeah, I didn't
But
go either. I'm sad. I want to go.
yeah, yeah, but yeah. I mean, it's plastic surgery. Oh, um, So, okay, we talked about Bomb. Is there anything else?
Well, I do another one, but slight mini Kara update because I guess I have to talk about Kara now every
Power updates. Woo!
Okay.
so so here's a Kara corner. Dun, dun, dun. Um,
Oh, it's got a name. I'm jealous.
Look, she's
uh,
got her own segment.
I want my own segment.
you'll have one soon, I guess. I
Oh,
guess
thanks.
with winner and the other, I mean the other group team B
No,
now
that's
their
Noah's
show.
thing. Winner
Yeah, I'm
is.
gonna be a Team B fan just to make be in spite of Noah.
Oh
Well,
man.
you can talk about the new TV show because it started right.
Yeah, mix and match. I'm gonna watch it just in
Well,
spite of
wait,
Noah. I'm
isn't
totally gonna
that?
watch it.
Aren't they going to be called? Isn't it official that whoever
Icon.
ends up in the group is going to be called Icon? Yeah,
Yeah, Icon.
with a
I bet
K.
you. I bet you their fan base is gonna be called like Iconic or something dumb like that. Money on
Uh.
it. Money on it. Put it down right now.
Okay. Okay, back to what's important, which is Kara. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, we ruined your segment. Your debut of your segment. Sorry.
Okay. So it's just really like two news that's like popped up. First off, Jiyoung made her comeback on Tokyo Girls Collection in Japan. She was on the runway. Um, she looks gorgeous. She looks amazing. She looked like she has so much fun while on the runway. Because the thing with the Tokyo Girls collection, not all of it is like really serious. You know, like how when you watch like runway shows or like anything like that, like it's the serious model walk, front and back or whatever. Tokyo Girls collection isn't really about that. Like, and depending what brand you're walking for, like some of the girls like instead of like walking, they'll start like dancing on the runway, so like they really engage to the audience. That's why it's so popular.
It's kind of like Victoria's Secret's walks. Like
Yeah.
they party and have fun,
Yeah.
and it's a
Yeah,
good time. People go and perform and stuff. It's super cool.
yeah, that's how Tokyo Girls collection is. So it wasn't like a super serious thing. And I think she was modeling for like a shoe brand. So it was like more like to get advertisement to the sneakers she was wearing. So she was dancing, she was like popping her foot, she was having a lot of fun and she looked
Yeah, I
gorgeous.
saw some pictures. She looks way like she looks super happy to doing whatever she's doing now.
Yeah.
Like she's
Yep.
just like I'm out of the
Super
car
happy being
and
hot.
I'm freaking happy.
She's no longer in the slave contract. I guess. But she's happy. Seeing her happy is making me happy because she's doing what she wants to do, which I'm totally happy for her. So there's that like ex Kara news. And as for Kara news right now, Youngji, she's actually been casted to sing like a song for an upcoming animated movie called Tasty 2, Happy Together.
Hmm.
So yay for her. She's gonna be singing both the Korean and Japanese versions because it'll be released both in Korea and Japan. So she just debuted it and look, she's already getting solo stuff done and
Hello.
so good for you, Young G. I'm so proud of you. And yes, and Kara continues to look so gorgeous on music shows and so shiny and bright, and I'm just so happy. I'm a happy camellia. This is all I can ask for. Happiness. This is all I can ask for. Not red velvet's happiness, like true happiness. Kara happiness.
Oh, the
Um,
shade in other groups, even. Car
Look at
corner.
that.
so yes, that's all for Kara's corner. Oh, and shout out to Karaholic. I won a Kara CD on their giveaway. So woohoo, thank you so much.
Oh,
Okay, that's it.
Man, you're really like if we ever get any kind of influence, you're gonna be the first person to get like some free swag from like cars like music
I'm a
company. They're like, thank you so much for promoting us
thank you
oh,
every
for always
time.
supporting us.
oh please, I'll love it. Please send it my way. I have no issues with it. A Kara tumbler, Kara card, Kara towel. Send it to me. I'm okay with all of it. Give it to me. I'm here for it.
Well, that's good. At least someone is happy with their bias group. So
I'm super happy with mine. I don't know what you mean.
okay, well Tim's happy too.
Aside from
I
one
don't
of them
really
being
have a
hurt,
bias
but
group that's out right now, so I I'm satisfied with the music scene right now. I guess I could say.
Uh,
Um,
I'm in a happy place because with first Sister, then Kara, and now 2 p.m. I'm in a happy place of K-pop. Like I'm good right now. I am so good right now. So yes, continue. Sorry.
all right. Well, we'll end on that note. Since that's a pretty high note. Um, yes. So, not your average netizens. Remember, um, you can listen to us on SoundCloud. .com. You can listen to us on. We should be. All of our episodes should be on iTunes.com. Not your average netizens. Um, had some notes that there may be some issues. Don't know if there's not. If there is, hit us up on our Twitter, NYAN Edisons at twitter.com. And we'll fix it as soon as we can. We're also on Facebook. And yeah, thanks. Just thanks again to all of you people who listen to us every week. And yeah, we're just glad that anybody is listening to us. And again, if you have any advice, any ideas, any complaints, any suggestions, feel free to let them know because the only way that we can become better is if you let us know how we can be better. So, thank you again for those of you listening to this episode. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Kiara, Miss Camellia, and I think that will be it. And unless something major happens between now and next week, we will see you next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
See ya.
Bye bye.